Hey YouTube, hey guys, how's it going? Thomas here. Right now we are currently working on our lazy bastard achievement on Factorio. Now, I've been at this for probably a good while now, and let's just go ahead and go in here and save it, and I will show you this. I'm pretty sure I could have gotten this done a little bit faster if I would have went down the construction robot method, and if I would have done just a little bit better planning. But so far, this game here is about 12 hours, and we're going to probably be able to complete this within, I would say, easily 14 hours or sooner, as far as lazy bastard goes, just taking our time. We made some mistakes along the way, as far as how I should have done things and shouldn't have done things. But as you guys can see, we have 106 total crafted items, and we spent a lot more time at the beginning of the game crafting extras and stuff like that to help us out. But I think really that just kind of wasted probably an hour worth of time doing that. So this here's our base, and I did do a video here earlier on it and stuff in this series and stuff here going over it. But this here is going to be kind of the general main walkthrough video, just going over my base, because I didn't really feel like recording the entire game and going over all the game and pretty much everything I was doing and not doing and stuff like that. I just enjoyed kind of going through and play. So let's go ahead and zoom out here. So this is our map. And this is huge. Okay, this is just it's almost like a regular base. Now, as far as what we've researched so far, let me show you guys my research. So we have pretty much everything and stuff here research. This is what we need because we're going just for the rocket silo. If you guys kind of scroll up here and you look at what I need to have in research, I have not researched flight or any of that kind of stuff because I didn't want to do logistic robots or construction robots. I think that was probably a mistake. I should have probably gone with construction robots because it would have made everything go faster. Because all this stuff here, I've actually been crafting by hand. And this whole base has been built by hand, no blueprints, no construction robots at all. So it's been a lot of work to actually get all this stuff built and throwing it all down by hand. And that, to me, that's just what I enjoy. I enjoy playing Factorio that way. I'd rather build stuff with hand than construction robots anyway. But, you know, to me, that's the challenge, you know, and stuff. So I enjoy doing it that way. So first things first, when you start playing the game, when we first started off on the Lazy Bastard achievement, what the goal was you actually have to set up, and you can't craft more than anything. So we did the / permissions, and we started over here on our coal and set our power and all that stuff up over here, and it worked. And then we got some stone, ran back and forth between the copper and the iron, if you guys watch the series here, and pretty much got the resources, and we were able to get our first assembly machine, and we started producing stuff and got the materials. And I should have made pipe, but I didn't make pipe, but I deleted all my stuff to move it over here without pipe. So I had to do a temporary power plant and everything like that to correct myself. And you know, then I was able to build this basic power plant here with one steam engine, which was just a simple expandable design here, so we could just expand it. But ultimately, I knew that wasn't going to be enough power, so I went ahead and built this mega power plant here. And even with everything we got going on now, it's overkill, because look at my power consumption. I mean, I am not even in the neighborhood of, you know, touching this thing. I mean, even with everything that we got going on here in our base right now, I mean, I'm not even nowhere near power consumption. I mean, these power plants are not even running at a quarter. So this power plant was overkill. I should have built maybe half of this, and maybe next time I will build half this. But this power plant will pretty much finish this game for us because it's able to run our entire base, no problems whatsoever. So that's great. We also got our copper lines going here, which was just a basic copper and basic iron, which came over here to our first starter plant. Now, I love setting my plants up like this. I know a lot of people like these other designs and stuff like that. I don't, because I think that a good starting setup should not require any type of underground belts or splitters, because when I built this, we didn't have splitters or underground feeds, and that's why it was built like it was. But I like to do 8 you know, stone furnaces on one side, 8 on the other, which gives me a total of 16, and then I have 16. And then I put my copper and iron together, and as you can see down here, this is the pattern that you get. You get these 4 patterns right here. And this works really well because you're basically taking, you know, your copper wire, making it, putting it over here, which basically requires iron plates, copper wire, right? So you're getting your green electronic circuits. That goes into an assembly machine here, which this assembly machine was blue. This was my first blue assembly machine, I think, and I upgraded it so I can craft, you know, up to 6 items now. And then I had a gear machine here. So these 4 assembly machines right here have basically been how I've won this game doing Lazy Bastard, because I've just been switching, putting everything in here and switching it back and forth. Because if I need, let's say, like right now, we got all these assembly machines here. We got those, right? Let's say I want to make, let's say, some blue inserters. I can just click this, click blue inserters, and then I'll just click this chest here, and I'll just drop some, yellow inserters in, and it'll start pumping out blue inserters. So this actually works right here, and I've used this for pretty much the duration of my entire game here, is using this one assembly machine to craft everything and anything I need using these 4 assembly machines right here. So this has worked really good. When I did my power plants, I built all these assembly machines here for different types of pipes, which it benefited me for refineries as well. But for the most part, I got all my steam engines and stuff built and have a whole chest of steam engines, which I ain't had a need for any more of those, and one machine here for some chests and stuff. This was kind of a failure here because I didn't supply it with coal, which was a bad idea. But the belts here, I've pretty much used these belts for the entire game. So this has worked good. And then I've done this right here for belts as well. And I just manually put my belts that I need or whatever I'm wanting to produce just into this chest here. And that does it good for this right here. Has kind of been good to have right here, this additional 4 in addition to these up here. I added these 4 here, and this is kind of where I've been doing most of my more or less like my inserters and stuff, because I'd be doing yellow inserters here. I'd come up here and I would do, like, let's say, like my long armed inserters, and I would steal them from here and put them up here, and it all worked out really good doing it that way. So when I put this here, guys, I'll tell you this was kind of a bad design, because this was all about mass producing green chips, and it was just kind of, honestly, I never really used this. This was just kind of one of those like failures in the game. It was like, well, I did that, but it produced green chips. I did use them, but after that, it just really didn't really mount enough, and it was kind of just pointless building this. But this here, these 4 inserter pattern here was what I did mainly to get the Lazy Bastard achievement, using my smithing design right here, my furnace design. So keep that in mind if you're going to do this achievement. Just build your furnaces like this, side by side, iron plate one side, copper the other, bring it down here, and then you have just enough spacing right here between the two where you can just put this stuff in, and then you just tie your belt in here where you need it. And it works great just doing it this way. And just run it down and do 4 of these, and then do 4 more, and that'll really allow you to do the majority of your crafting and stuff like that you would traditionally do in your inventory, which now you can't. You got to have concrete and all this other stuff for later games, so that was built and everything. But my stone production was set up here, and everything I did was I was trying to keep things very, very basic. So stone mine produces and puts stone into a chest, and that feeds it into an assembly machine, and out comes stone furnaces. That's how we got this design down here. So let's run down here and look at this real quick. So, in addition to the starting game getting for the Lazy Bastard, I do believe that we had to have 200 iron plates and 100 copper plates, along with like 50 coal and then like some wood, before we even built our first assembly machine and started our research for power and all that good stuff. So but once that was done, we were able to do this, and all this got up and running and stuff. We had 2 additional things we had to craft. One, we had to make an assembly machine 2, which was our blue assembly machine, and then the last thing was our refinery. Now, the refinery, as far as I did this, I built a simple refinery here, 1 refinery, because that was all I was allowed to craft, right? And I ran the pipes this way, so it was like a noob refinery. And then I brought my oil in. I just piped it all in from underground. I did it the cheap newbie way. So I just put 3 pumps out here. I should have built more, but 3's actually been very efficient, and I just piped it underground and to right here to this refinery. Now, what happened was, as we were able to advance in our technical research, what we were able to do is I was able to, let's look down here, and what we've completed is our automation. And as you guys can see here, automation 3, when I was actually able to get that done as part of my research, the fact is, you do your oil, you do your plastic, you have automation 2, you do all your chips, your modules, all this stuff working up, and you get automation 3. And if I would have a do-over, I would actually not build my refinery like this. If you guys have seen my other refinery videos, they're really great. I feel like this is a really noob refinery because I just kind of put this down here and ran it straight, and I wasn't really thinking long-term. But keep in mind, guys, that once you get automation 3, you can build additional refineries. I was thinking I was going to probably be stuck with 1 refinery for the majority of the game, but I was able to get multiple refineries, but I didn't really have no way to tie them in here, so I just kind of built 1 over here and 1 here, and it just really made this all look real crappy and stuff. But the biggest problem that I'm struggling with now as far as base goes is I just don't have the plastic research. And that's really because of the poor refinery design, and it's kind of, one of the things that's taken a toll on the game, or the game would be finished now, because I'm just not really able to produce, the red circuits and stuff fast enough, because there's just not enough plastic. I'm struggling. The same thing can be said over here with the blue circuits. They're taking a struggle because we're not getting enough plastic production. Now I could go build another refinery, but right now we're working on rocket silo research, so there's no point. It's just let the clock burn down and just let the game just go AFK for a bit, and we'll have everything more or less done on our own, and the game will be over. So it'll take an hour or so, but I can go do dishes, cook me something to eat, something like that, while the game idles. So not a big deal. There's no aliens to worry about or anything. So, but this is the base design I went with. And I want to look at this last thing over here on basically my furnace setup. Now, this is my signature design. I love this design. I don't know why other people don't really do this. And this design kind of come out by pure accident. It was just kind of me trying to make my designs better and better over the years. But I like to do 20 furnaces long, okay? And when you place these, you just place these all in a straight row. But the cool thing is about when you actually are placing your furnaces, I always place them up tight up here against the wall, right? And then I come straight down through, and I always delete the one off the top and then the bottom one. But when you place these, always do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So, I could put, I'm standing on these belts, but right here, right? I could put one here, right? And that's 2. So these are all spaced, if you guys actually notice here. So there's like 1, 2, 3, right? So there's 2 spacing between each row on these furnaces. And that's what I love about these, because when you lay these out, you just come up here to the top, you run straight down, you just start here at the top, right? And you just basically run right down through here and place one solid row of nothing but furnaces. Then what you do is you delete 2, leave 1, delete 2, leave 1. And after you do that, then you run this way down across to place your furnaces, and that gives you this big, beautiful pattern that we see here. And it actually works really, really nice because it does give you your entire base and everything. So, and what you have left is this down here, is you just have all these furnaces and stuff, and then you kind of come in on the bottom and you just add all your belt lines and your spacing and stuff like that, which you guys see here. This is our copper, and this is incomplete over here. But really, to show you guys a perfect example of this is, let's say I want to start right here, right? And I can just come right down through here like this. And now all I got to do is just go back, delete the 2 on each one of these, and you guys can see that's perfect, spacing for each and every row. So it's really, really nice to do them like this, and then you tie everything in from the top. Now, what I love about this design, okay, is not just the way I lay them out, but you don't have to put these balancers, splitters right here. You don't need those, but it helps a lot to balance your belts, okay, as the stuff's coming off. More importantly, if you come up here midways, see, if everything stays on one side of the belts, they get jammed up. But if you come up midways, about 10 up, and you put a splitter in the middle, it'll take what's on this belt, put it on this belt over here, and it'll take what's on this belt and it'll put on this belt, and then that way the belts become more balanced and the stuff moves down them a little bit more effective. It's more efficient and stuff like that. But you don't need this splitter. You don't need this splitter here either. But this splitter here is really worth putting in the middle splitter, and then it comes down here and ties in down here at the bottom. And always come off the line. This line here is where I come off of. And then I come off this line here at the same, and then the same can be said for here and here. Always come off the same lines, and then I bring everything over and it ties together right in the very center. And then you have this nice, beautiful pattern, and then we put a nice, high-quality belt balancer here that balances everything. And then I'll run the line down here, and I'll do the same thing for my copper on this side. And where these 2 tie together in the very middle right here, I'll come straight off of here, and I'll leave 2 spaces in the middle, and then I'll have my, my basically iron plates and my copper plates. And that's how I lay out my my factories here. Now, as you guys can see, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about balancing this right here. So as you guys can see right here, these here were all, when I built these, as you can see, these are flashing, right? So I didn't build all this at once, okay? Keep that in mind. Don't build all this stuff at once. Build it as you need it. That way you can work on stuff that you actually need to be working on and you're not wasting time. So I built 1 furnace row here and then 1 furnace for copper. And as needed, as I needed more iron plates, I added more in here. Now, as you guys can see right now, my copper production, look at it. See how it's slacking? I'm getting those spaces in there. Well, I got 2 rows of copper. And now, as you can see, this row here is incomplete. it's time to build my third row here for copper, because I'm starting to get gaps in my copper right now. My copper's, I mean, it's going good up to, you know, right here, but where I'm going with my green chips and stuff, it's going good. And the green chips was all just like one inserter, you know, yellow inserter for each one and stuff. But it got to the point where I just wasn't producing fast enough, so I just went through here and just dropped all fast inserters in here, just threw them down. I'm like, I don't really care. And ultimately, that actually worked out really good, because now I have really good, you know, green chip production. So just upgrading to putting a bunch of fast inserters here on my green chip production, that really helped out a lot there. So, but yeah, this is the furnace design I like to run with. So as you run down the line, this area here for my refineries was a small area, but like I told you guys just a minute ago, when you build your refineries, build a nice line here. Like I always like to build my refineries down the side. Like this refinery is where it should be, but I should have built, I would have, if I was going to have a do-over, I would redo the Lazy Bastard with pre-plan it for about, I would say, 8 refineries or so, whatever you would typically do for a good sized base or whatever. I like to run about 8 refineries or more. So plan out for 8 refineries when you lay your refineries out. Even though you only have 1 at the time, just build big and just put all your buildings and everything there like you normally would do them, but just don't activate them. Just only have like maybe 2 on, and then when you get more refineries and get that assembly machine free, you could just really upgrade your entire refinery. That's the biggest tip and biggest biggest thing of advice I can give you guys right there. So in addition to having all this up here, we have our basically steel production down here, steel plate production. Steel plate production is a little bit different. We basically bring the coal in and we split it 3 ways. We run it down the middle, the side, and the other side. And basically, the iron ore goes into the stone furnace, then it goes over into the other furnace for steel, and it all comes out right here on the sides, and then it just ties together with a simple tie through here, a balancer to split it on the 2 different belts, and then it runs straight through the base. You get further down here, we have our green chip production, which was upgraded, and our red chip production, which requires plastic, comes off the main line. It all runs down through here, and then we get down to this section of the base. We have our basically batteries and stuff, which are here, red chips. So this here line is double green line, red line, batteries, and blue chips. So I shared the batteries and the blue chips together, and everything just kind of comes down here. And here on the very end of the line, I just kind of threw whatever I could. Like I'm going to need these here for my, I do believe, satellites. So that's why those were put there, because the batteries stop at the end of the line. So I just figured I'd put that there for now. And the same could be said about my solar and stuff panels that was produced right here and stuff. But as far as how the base was built, I just built it from one section to another. I built my grenade. There was a coal deposit right here, which is why I put my grenades and everything here for my military research. So that was all kind of built over here. It was kind of done last. I should have probably done that earlier than what I did, but I really just, what I did was I just said, okay, where should I put my research at for my green and my red? And I just kind of came down here, threw it down here, and then started building, these labs and stuff here, which pretty much, I can expand it. I love this lab design. It's so simple, so basic, and it's very expandable, so you can just expand it as needed. I also, as far as my research goes, I like to take and put smart inserters on the side of my belts, as you guys can see right here. And it'll take off the belts and it puts the stuff into a chest, which then puts another inserter and drops it back onto the belts. And what this does is this allows you to have a nice full chest of stuff. And actually, it's probably a good idea to set it on the top row, so you just have one whole solid row. That way, whenever you do start doing a lot of research and stuff like that, you have a nice, stockpile, of the research and stuff like that that you're going to need. And stuff. So when you do start doing all that research and everything, that it is well stockpiled and stuff. But we got our engine production, we got our pipes. My pipes, I should have probably just built one assembly machine when I did my pipes for here for my motors, but I just said I'm just going to feed it straight from the assembly machine to there, which was kind of a mistake. I shouldn't have probably done that, but it all worked out in the end. As far as this base goes, I think this is actually a relatively good Factorio base. Except for the refinery. The only real regret on this base was the refinery, but the more you play, the better you get your designs and all that good stuff. So everything actually is starting to tie in, but I'm building it long ways, if you guys have noticed. But I'm honestly so used to building inside of a hostile base where I'm all just jam-packed and everything. I can't really throw things out, space stuff out, or anything like that. So being able to do this, and more importantly, do it without construction robots and stuff like that in flight, you know, I'm actually very happy with it. So the one last thing I want to look at here is achievements, because I want to point this out to you guys. When you go for your Lazy Bastard achievement, okay, keep in mind that if you ain't got these achievements already, I highly recommend you doing these. The first one would be, what is the first one here? I'm trying to find it here. All right, the first one is Steam all the way. You know, win a game without building any solar panels. I would highly recommend doing that. Raining bullets, you know, win the game without building any laser turrets. I would try to do that as well. I'm not sure if that requires you have to have peace mode off or whatever, but I would try for that. And I would also do this here, the logistic network one, which is win a game without building any active provider chest. And so long for the fish. Just save your game and launch your rockets and stuff. And this is just so simple to do. So long for the fishes. Just save your game, launch a rocket. You'll get your achievement for whatever you're doing. And then afterwards, just basically reload the game on the save, put a fish in the rocket, and then relaunch the rocket, and you can get that. I mean, that's the simplest way to get that achievement. I mean, most people want to actually basically launch a whole second rocket, and you don't have to do that. Just reload the save, you know, and get it. I mean, it's simple. So, but anyways, guys, hopefully you guys like my base here and stuff. And in our next video that I'm going to do, I was wanting to do just a nice big base walkthrough, show you guys what we got going on here and stuff as far as this base goes here. But the map and everything, I got radars and stuff. It looks great. You know, I just absolutely love my furnace setup. I really do. I just love this design. Everything else, you know, just looks great. Just looks nice. Love it. Absolutely love it. But this up here, as far as the starting area goes, I'm very happy. You know, as sad as this looks right here, I'm very happy with this, because this set of furnaces and this set feeding into just these 4 assembly machines is what caused us to win this game. Is just this design right here. These 4, you know, assembly machine pattern where I can put stuff in. And the tip of the video, and I'll give you guys the best tip now, is carry like everything that you would normally carry with you, let's say for crafting, whether it's green chips, whether it's that, anything that you would normally carry with you for crafting. If you need to craft something when you're doing the Lazy Bastard achievement, this is the game tip right here. Throw down an assembly machine anywhere. As long as there's power there, drop it. See how there's power there? Drop your assembly machine. And if you need something, just drop it in. Select whatever you want. You want that, boom, boom, click iron plates. And guess what? The machine sits there and crafts it for you. Whenever you get what you need, if you need, let's say 10 iron pipes, just delete it. Yay, I got 11 iron pipes now. I can go place some pipes. So just keep in mind, building, all you have to do for the Lazy Bastard achievement is just that. And that is more or less, if you have to craft anything that you would normally craft in your inventory, instead of crafting it in your inventory, you just craft it right here. You need gears, right? We need gears, iron plates. Now we're making belts. Look at that. We're producing belts right now. So now we have this machine just making us all the belts that we would possibly need. I can just delete it. Let's say if I need gears, right? I can just take the machine. Now you could also, instead of actually deleting the whole machine, which is basically what I'm doing, you could actually like click on this. You could actually just click that there, and then that would clear it off altogether. But you know, I just delete the machine. It's just faster for me. But if I need gears, I can just go like that, and it makes the gears. So carry one assembly machine with you at all times, and that will give you the ability to do all of your crafting and everything. And it just makes it so easy when you do it like that. So anywhere I'm at, anywhere in my base, anywhere I need to craft anything, as long as I just have the crafting material in my inventory, I can just throw down an assembly machine anywhere in my base, and I can just craft what I want. If I need some gears like I just made just a minute ago, just come down here, click it, boom, boom, boom. And let's say I want some circuit chips, right? I can just go that. Now I got me some green circuits. Easy as that. Okay, now we just delete the machine. We got our green circuits. Let's keep on moving. So that is the tip right there. Carry an assembly machine with you. Keep everything in your inventory that you would normally carry with you for crafting or inventory crafting, stuff like that. The only catch is if you have to craft something, you just need to throw an assembly machine down, craft it where you're at. It saves you from running back, forth, stuff like that, especially to your starting area, which is way, way up here, which is what I did. You know, and I did that for a good bit, kind of running back and forth, but I still ran back and forth up here because this was just kind of all my basic production. Like this here I was using for just regular, you know, light poles and stuff like that, you know, and stuff. And it works. It really does work, just kind of running back and forth and stuff, and having just this basic setup area here where you can actually kind of craft and do everything you need to. It works great. But once you figure out that using, just throwing down an assembly machine, you know, to craft wherever you're standing at is, you know, the best option, and just carrying everything in your inventory like you normally would. Once you learn that and you figure that out, you guys will have no problem doing Lazy Bastard achievement. Just remember, make sure whatever you do is you go in to your commands and you push in that permissions, where you come in here and you disable that craft, uncheck that craft, make sure it's unchecked, or you guys will lose, because there's a few times when I've accidentally mistaken my inventory for assembly machines, and if I didn't have that unchecked, I would have probably messed up and just ruined the whole game right there. So keep that in mind. It doesn't affect you or hurt you or anything like that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like this base here I built for Lazy Bastard. And in our next video that I'm going to do on this channel is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to launch our space shuttle, and we're going to go ahead and get our rocket up into space, and we will go ahead and win the Lazy Bastard and get our Lazy Bastard achievement. And personally, I didn't really want to do this Lazy Bastard achievement because I just feel like it was going to be a waste of time and time consuming. But now that I've went ahead and done it, I can say, hey, look, I'm a lazy bastard. So, so yeah, I definitely decided to go ahead and get it. I think it'll be worth it in the end. I think I'm going to be more happy now because of the way how the game went. And it's just getting through the first 2 hours of the game, the start of the game, trying to get through it. It's 2 hours of pure brutality. It is so hard to get through that first 2 hours. It's just, oh my God, getting the start down and completing that start. It's just, oh my God. Once you do that, Lazy Bastard is a walk in the park. It truly is. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, YouTube.